Remember, push to the beat of staying alive, and you can save life.
Thanks for helping me stay alive.
Yeah, thank you very much. That was like an icebreaker, something to keep us alive, staying alive, staying alive. We are very live people. The EM guys, the EMS guys, the guys that work in acute settings are very, very active guys. It's like sailing in your own adrenaline, but you still have to hit the target. If you know what I'm talking about. You're not allowed to miss, you're not allowed to be less active. So the next presenter on the timetable is Dr. Said Kilindimo. Dr. Said Kilindimo is a cardiac intensivist and emergency medicine specialist, motivated to enhance and further growth professionally in an exciting and engaging medical and academic environment. Currently, he's working as the head of department in the emergency medicine department at the Muhimbili University of Health and Allied Sciences. He also works as a consultant at the emergency medicine department of the Muhimbili National Hospital, and he is a cardiac intensivist at the Jakaya Kikwete Cardiac Institute in Dar es Salaam. He is also a clinical instructor for various life support short courses like BLS, ACLS, ITLS, disaster medicine, airway management, emergency ultrasound, to name a few. So he'll be talking about exploring Tanzania's biodiversity, a tapestry, nature, and innovation. Please, Dr. Said.
Good morning, friends. Good morning, colleagues. Karibu Tanzania. So thank you, Chairman, for the introductions on me, but more important, I have an honor to see colleagues from different countries. I was just looking at the statistics for attendance on this conference. The organizing chair will come to say, but what I realized, yeah, we feel honored to see a lot of colleagues coming from outside the Tanzania. Some coming from within the Africa, but some coming far from outside the Africa. So because of that, I made this presentation for you. I thought it would be a good time to welcome to Tanzania. Just take a short tour with you. Walk across through to Tanzania, see what the biodiversity on the ground. Can I ask just to dim light in front? Who's IT? To start with, where should we start? I think this is what all about the Tanzania. We're proud with our Madam President running the country in the smooth, happiest to all Tanzanians. Where else can we start? Let's start with the geo-demographics. Colleagues, Tanzania, as where we stand today, if you're wondering where you are in terms of geographically, you're sitting in the eastern part of Africa. That's where Tanzania is, with that blue mark. If you're wondering about the size, it's about over 945,000 square kilometers. And in bit detail, it's the 13th largest in Africa. And if you try to think worldwide, is of 31st in size. If not clear to you, I was trying to imagine, let me compare with maybe the largest in the world. Let's compare with US. It's probably we are somewhere, not as that much as large, but we are somewhere compared to US. In this country, the populations, we are about 61 million, and this is about 1 year ago a census of the nationwide. So yes, there's a lot of people in Tanzania, of about 61 million, with the annual growth rate is about 2.9%. That's where we are, and that's where we're heading. Let's talk about age distribution of these 61 million people. Majority of them middle-aged, over 50%. And that is followed by the young, the kids, they're about 42.8%. We are proud of our language. It's Swahili, that's the main, and in academic and training, we do use English as well. So Swahili and English is the main spoken language in the country. Hope by today, probably I've learned a few words in Swahili. Yeah, at least say karibu, mambo, asante. These are few words to all our guests we wish we should at least know. But with this population of 61 million, we enjoy the different ethnic tribes. We have more than 130 in the country. And each of these have unique customs, vernacular language, as well as traditions and norms within these tribes. So it's diverse if you think about Tanzanian populations. An example of some of the tribes, the Maasai, these are the dominant part, mostly around where you are. They're pride and vibrant tribal among those tribals in the country. And this is, I think, among the many tribals in the country, regardless of the globalizations, but they try to maintain their traditions in the country. And probably the majority of the tribal in Tanzania, we're proud of what we're doing in the country. If you go to Southern Highlands, there's another tribals, a few examples to mention, these are Hehes. I think in the history, if you read Tanzanian history, you think about the Chifu Mkwawa is coming from this tribal. They have their own language, traditional names, and they're happy with what they do. Southern part of the country, you have a Makonde tribe, beautiful ladies. I wish you could meet them playing their traditional dances. You will not leave them. So this is where Tanzania we are. The food, I think you have started enjoying some delicious foods in the Tanzania. This is a few to mention. The ugali, I'm sure you have eaten some, yeah? But not only the delicious, more important is the togetherness, yeah? In Tanzania, how we enjoy eating the food, it's not like everyone is taking his own plate. When we sit together, that's how we create the bond for the family. That's where we have a lot of chats during the eating. This is how we enjoy our food in Tanzania. So colleagues, welcome to enjoy the traditionals in Tanzania. Let's talk about the economics. In Tanzania, the largest part is agriculture, and it's contributing to about 29% of GDP. But some majority is done as subsistence and small-scale farming, the rest of the country. Yeah, mineral, I think we are diverse of minerals in the country. Mention whatever, gold, coal, gas, many minerals in the country we get, but of special Tanzanite. Worldwide, Tanzania is the only place you could get the Tanzanite. Welcome to Tanzania. Other activities like fishing, yeah, livestock, it's happening, but more important, tourism. And I wish to spend just a few minutes talking about tourism in Tanzania. Where you are, you're sitting at the base of Mount Kilimanjaro. And you're in Tanzania at the base of Mount Kilimanjaro. So let me remind you, Mount Kilimanjaro is in Tanzania, not in the other countries. I repeat, it is in Tanzania. Just about 3 hours away from where you're sitting now, it is one of the largest wonder of the world, the crater Ngorongoro. So if you have you can spare a few time, you can go and come back on the same day. It's one of the best places you wish to visit in Tanzania. If you walk on the eastern part along the coast, a natural beach, very beautiful. Zanzibar, Kilwa, Bagamoyo, you will enjoy. This is Tanzania. So, leave alone about geodemographics. Let's talk about the health status in the country. Yeah? So in Tanzania, life expectancy is about 66 years. Yeah? It varies between male and female for some demographics reason. I'm not going to get into detail for that, but we are not far from the rest of the world. If you look on the top 3 hospital admissions, malaria is the leading one, followed by pneumonia and anemia. This is the main cause of admission in the hospital. If you look on the health facility structures, the government is doing a lot, especially in the recent years. We are about more than 10,000 healthcare facilities in the country. But all of this, majority is the primary health cares, is the dispensary, health center, and district hospitals. This is what they save majority of the Tanzania. But these healthcare facilities, especially the public one, they provide subsidized cost, and some they get a free service in the country, like under fives, maternals. They don't need to pay for this. The government is paying for the service in the country. But this is the public. We do have private sectors as well, and in the recent years, it has been growing. So it's kind of public-private mixed healthcare facilities in the country. Speaking about 15 years ago, HIV was among the threatened disease in Africa, and our colleague, I'm sure you heard a lot about HIV, but yes, the government is doing a lot to contain, to manage and make sure the disease is not like a troublesome for the African and Tanzanian. And you could see the trend. We're doing a lot to contain. If you look at the number of new admissions, significantly has been reduced in the past few years. But what we realize now, the infectious disease like HIV going down, now we're facing the trend of non-communicable disease. Now it's coming up. The diabetes, hypertension. And one could wonder why are we seeing the rise? Is it because the infection is going down, that's why it goes? No. So what we realize is because of the work done by government, but work by healthcare providers, advocating the non-communicable disease. The community now, they are aware, they reach where the facility is. I think that's when we realize we have this rise of the data, but not because of the change of the epidemiology. I think it's the awareness as far as the Tanzania is concerned. What happened to the mortality? Yeah, if you look about this pattern of the disease, if you look at the pattern of the disease, you can realize that the communicable disease now, as a cause of mortality, now is getting down. And now we're seeing more threat of non-communicable on the rise. But if you look on the trauma and injuries, now it's coming up. If you look on the statistics, maybe before 2020, it was a bit on the rise. I think from 2019 to 20s, well, a bit went down. And we realize that this could be the effect of pandemic of COVID. And then COVID is over, now we see a bit on the rise. But we're doing effort to make sure we get control of this threat of mortality. The workforce. I think Tanzania is among the African, but also the worldwide, with the shortage of healthcare providers. As we're speaking now, we're sitting about a ratio of 1 to 8,000 doctors to population ratio. If you compare to WHO, it's about 1 to 450, so we are not yet there. But the government is doing effort to make sure we employ more people, we educate more people to provide healthcare to our populations. Technology. Recently, the government has tried to invest a lot of technology in the healthcare system, including healthcare information system as well as telemedicine. And so all of this try to link the healthcare facility in the country to offer the services needed for the population. Let's talk about emergency medicine, where we are. Yeah, it was not until 2010 when we started a real emergency medicine practice in the country. And as we're speaking today, over 100 emergency departments built within the country. With the total bed capacity, if the all EMD are full, we're about 700, close to 800 patients in the healthcare facilities. So yes, a lot of job is being done by the government in Tanzania. And we have over 1,000 ambulances across the country. Pre-hospital medicine, not well developed, and probably that is where our focus now. Mostly of the pre-hospital care is inter-facility transfer rather than community to facility transfers. But disaster medicine, Tanzania is not spared like the rest of the world in terms of disaster. We do see some disasters in the country, but yes, we have very organized structure with the government how we manage and contain this. under Prime Minister. They have a specific leadership on the disaster management. But within the Ministry of Health, we have a directorate. So working with the Prime Minister, this is our leadership of the disaster management in the country being organized. Recently, as what I said, a new emergency department has been built up. And from 22 to 24, over 80 a new emergency department. These are few. And they are not in the urban area. This you go to the remote part of the country, you have these new facilities. This is the work done by the government in Tanzania. What about medical training? If you come to Tanzania, we have vast of specialties training. Yeah, nursing all the way from auxiliary nurse to nurse specialist. But as far as you think about the clinicians, from the clinical officers, these are diplomas in clinical medicine, all the way to a degree Bachelor of Medicine, but as well to a medical specialist and subspecialist in the country as well. So this is how the training. But we're not far leaving others experts in healthcare providers. We have training in pharmacy, from technician to a pharmacy specialist. More important as well, the supporting service like lab technicians, the radiographers, all of this training is available in Tanzania. The formal training in emergency medicine, again, as what I said, we started in 2010 in the country. Yeah, it's a 3-year program, but from next year we're moving to 4 years a program. And of today, we have produced more than 105 specialists from our own program. This is the work we're doing in the country. But specialization, it doesn't start from, it has to be from the undergraduate training to come to specialization. And we realized, how can we get people to come and train on specialization? Then we thought we have to inspire the juniors. So introducing undergraduate training in emergency medicine, that's what we have done. Since 2015, we started undergraduate training, and these undergraduate students, they spend 5 weeks in emergency department. We're teaching the basic resuscitation skills. But our main aim is to just like incubate them, to inspire, be coming to train in emergency medicine once they finish their community services. Of course, where we started, we have a lot of short courses as well to support the training in the country. Pre-hospital, as what I said, we are not yet there, but we're now in the process for introducing this curriculum. And I think probably from end of this year or next year, we'll start formal pre-hospital medicine, try to cover the gap of out-of-hospital medicine. Colleagues, this is all what I wanted to share, but just one thing to remind you that in Tanzania, 2027 will be hosting the African Cup Federation of Nations. So this is not the end. You should come back again to Tanzania to join us for all of these activities. Karibu sana.
I didn't know he's done. I was waiting for more. So, as I said, as EM physicians, we are forced to hit the target. As you could see, Dr. Said kept going despite the fact that the PA system stopped. He was like, I have a goal to attain, I got to be there. Thank you very much, Dr. Said, for that overview, for that summary of Tanzania, the health system in Tanzania, the training, and for welcoming us to AFCON 2027. I hope you're ready. So Zimbabwe, Malawi, US, Australia, and wherever you guys are from, welcome to Tanzania. We have this football tournament in 2027. I know football is becoming like a religion now. So yeah, the next speaker from Dr. Said is Professor Stephen Dunlop again. He was introduced earlier, so I won't go through his bio again, but I'll welcome him to the podium to talk about building bridges in emergency medicine, ASEP, and the future of Tanzanian EM providers. Please, Prof.
Hey, thanks. Hello again. This will be much briefer. Dr. Mabula asked me to come up here and talk a little bit about the American College of Emergency Physicians, just to let people know what that professional organization is about, how I relate to it, and what that might mean for the future of emergency care in Tanzania, as the Emergency Medicine Association of Tanzania is your professional body, and how you think about it can advocate for you as emergency care providers, both as physicians, nurses, and otherwise, to change the face of emergency care in Tanzania. So for those of you that don't know, ACEP is the American College of Emergency Physicians. It represents just under 40,000 providers, so there's a lot of folks in the United States, and I think that's helpful for us to think about in the African context, because I often feel kind of alone. And I think conferences like this help us providers, especially those of you who are coming from the more rural areas, to realize that you're not the only person that's dealing with the same issues. You say, boy, this sounds exactly like what I'm dealing with at home. You're not alone. The problems are very similar. And what I want to translate is that there are many of the same challenges that you guys are facing here in the development of emergency care in Tanzania were problems faced in every country around the world, and indeed in the United States. It was founded in 1968, which on one hand kind of seems like a while ago, but in the scheme of medicine, emergency medicine is a very young specialty in general compared to the houses of surgery, medicine, obstetrics, etc. And so that paved the way for the recognition of emergency medicine as the 23rd specialty to be recognized in the United States. So what does ACEP do? It provides advocacy for physicians and patients at the governmental level. And I'll be the first to admit, I'm really not a political guy. The reason that I went into what I do is because I really don't like politics, arguing, and money. And I find out at the end of this, as I'm trying to help develop emergency medicine, all I do is think about politics, arguing, and money, which is kind of an interesting full circle about how we get things done in emergency care. But we need to understand that all of these things are necessary in the emergency care. We need to interface with government. We need to understand how health economics work. And we need to advocate for our patients. And that's what the American College does. And ultimately, I think that's what EMAT is and will be doing as it grows in its strength and its numbers over time, to help advocate for you, the healthcare providers, to the government of Tanzania, and to all who will listen about how we can provide the best care for our patients. Also provides educational opportunities. There are many things, online courses and resources that you can access even from afar, but of course, and then we'll also provide clinical guidance and policies. Some of these translate well to Tanzania, some of them don't translate at all. But what I want to point out is, whatever fight it is that you're fighting, whether it's the standard like anesthesia saying you can't use that drug in the emergency department, or surgery saying you don't do chest tubes, or whatever the standard thing it is that inevitably happens in all emergency care provision across the world, there are guidance, guidelines, research, and data that we have used on our side to support our position. And then I would go even further, and I will show at the end a number of organizations that have many of those same things in the African context. Because you'll also come across and say, well, you know, ACEP says that I can do conscious sedation safely as an emergency physician in the emergency department. And your hospital administrator might say, yeah, well, that's fine for the United States, but that doesn't apply here in Tanzania. And then I would respond and say, well, that's interesting, because here's a case series of 300 consecutive sedations done in rural Uganda by essentially nurse practitioners without major complications. So you're telling me they can do this in rural Uganda, but we can't do this in a metropolitan hospital in Tanzania? And so having those sorts of evidence to make your arguments is helpful, and those are the sorts of things that you want your professional body doing for you. And it provides a space for people who have unique interests in various things. Think toxicology, ultrasound, international, global, whatever it is, pediatrics. There are interest groups, that subdivisions that you can find your folks in. There are things like scientific assembly. There are thousands, like 5,000 physicians come together for something that's like, imagine this, except on steroids for 4 days, with hundreds of different courses, everything from EKG interpretation to what's new in abdominal pain. And so if you ever are able to go to one of the national meetings in the United States, this is an incredible opportunity for you to see the breadth and depth of what's out there, to just expand your horizons. Everything for your nursing tracks, also for physician tracks and otherwise. The international section exists, and their mission is to provide opportunities on the U.S. side. Remember, this is the American college, so they're facing for U.S. folks. But what I want to point out to you is it's to promote the development of the specialty of emergency medicine worldwide. And so because of that, you'll find that there is an ambassador program. Somehow, by some twist of fate, I am the ambassador to Tanzania from the American College of Emergency Physicians. And I would love to try and help any of you promote emergency care within the country of Tanzania or wherever you're coming from to help you advocate for yourself and for the specialty. What I would say is that it provides a couple of things. One, a place for like-minded folks like yourself to meet each other and then go back and create communities of your own. It didn't exist before, whereas now, over, say, 10, 15 years on, the African Federation has largely assumed that role for intercontinental collaboration. That said, I think there is still a lot for us to learn from each other. We were just at the Ambassador Conference, Peter and I, which is a pre-conference to the main conference of ACEP. And we were meeting colleagues that were starting emergency care in Fiji or the Philippines or wherever they're coming from. And it is so incredibly interesting to hear about the challenges that they have and to hear about the different ways in which they tackled each of those challenges and finding ways to bring those ideas back home and see how they might be useful. So I'd encourage any of you that are interested to recognize the other thing that the international section does is we go back to the main body and advocate for the rest of the world. If ACEP wants to be sort of involved with the rest of the world, it needs to be accessible to the rest of the world. And to that end, we've changed the amounts the costs are for registration for the conferences. We've lowered the amounts of what it costs to be an ACEP member and have access to the resources, and made grants available to young aspiring emergency physicians. So every year, there are somewhere around 30 folks who apply for this Scientific Assembly Global Leadership Travel Grant. Peter's been the recipient of it, and I know a number of others here have as well. And this provides you a stipend, waived conference fees, and the ability to go and see what ACEP is all about. And I would love it if all 30 of them were from Tanzania, as far as I'm concerned. So please apply. But just know that these exist. They provide support for things like request invitation letters for U.S. visas, all these little things that you wouldn't think about of how you can make this happen. This is what the ACEP International section is looking to do, and we'd certainly be happy to take any feedback that you have as you come across any obstacles that we can logistically take out of the way. We would be happy to do. And I would be remiss, again, if I don't point out that we are so fortunate now to have many other organizations that are as good or better than ACEP, especially from your context, looking at resource-appropriate guidance, looking at intercontinental collaboration. I would highly encourage you to get involved with the African Federation, the Emergency Medicine Association of Society of South Africa, which is where AFEM was born, and many others. The Australians do amazing work in emergency care, and I think maybe leading the way in emergency education, amongst many others. And with that, I will be done. I want you to know that you are not alone, that many have gone before you, and so when you come across an issue, rather than reinvent the wheel, reach out. Rather than when you're the one person, don't spend your time redoing something that's been done before. Reach out and ask and find out what already exists, and then adapt it to understand whether you think it makes sense in your context, and then adapt it. Yeah, that's it. I'm done.
Thank you, Professor, for letting us know that we are not alone and there are many opportunities for collaborations out there. We only need to step out and look for them. Before I invite the SQF director to invite the guest of honor to the podium, I would like to invite a representative from the African Federation. No, first we'll start with a representative from the Emergency Medicine Association of Tanzania, who is the host country, Dr. Juma Mfinanga, to give us a greeting and regards. He'll be followed by the representative from the FM. African Federation for Emergency Medicine.
I think it's afternoon or morning. Still? Morning. Good morning, all. So, I think I just invited here to do business like a political issue, okay? It's not like more scientific. As you know that I'm an emergency physician and the head of emergency medicine department at Muhimbili National Hospital, but I'm the president of EMAT, which is the Professional Association for Emergency Medicine in Tanzania. So here I will talk in behalf of EMAT, just a greeting from EMAT, and then the protocol will proceed. So, dear guest of honor, Mr. Daudi Msasi, our government chief pharmacist, Dr. Mabula, chair of organizing committee, host of this conference, ARUSHA Conference of Emergency Medicine, Joe, president of AFEM. AFEM is he'll talk about AFEM later on, but we as EMAT always work together with the AFEM, IFEM, and all others has been mentioned by Professor Dunlop. Saidi, who gave us Dr. Saidi, who gave us a speech before this opening ceremony. All other speakers, keynote speakers, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, the protocol observed. On behalf of EMAT, I'm just here to give you a greeting from EMAT. What Said said after he started with emergency medicine in 2010, trained emergency medicine in 2010, we were very few, but what we did, we found that there was a gap. And the gap was how we can complement what is being done by all the government and institutions together with all stakeholders to expand and to advocate for emergency care in Tanzania, Africa, and in the world, across the world. What we did, we formed the Association of Emergency Medicine, which is called the EMAT, is where all professionals, specialists, doctors, nurses, paramedics, and anybody who is working in emergency, they always met together and discuss issues related to emergency care. In this conference, we are so honored, and we can congratulate Mabula and the team to bring this conference in Arusha. Let us clap for him, because this is a very big opportunity to bring people together. I understand the pre-workshop, the lectures, keynote speaker, the break session will bring a lot to our country, and what's meant to advocate and to disseminate emergency care across Tanzania. The role of EMAT is just to connect the bridge between the government and we practitioners, so that there is no gap in emergency medicine. What Said said about having 105 emergency departments in the country, it just started very easy. We had only one emergency department until 2015. And then we opened the other in the tertiary hospital, including our zone hospital, where we have the Bugando, KSMC, and a few, maybe 2 region hospitals. In 2016, from there, post-COVID is when EMAT did a great effort to do advocacy for dissemination of emergency care, and now within 3-4 years, we are talking about 105 emergency department. But a great job which has been done by training institution, Dr. Said from MOAS and all other, including KSMC. We are doing a great job to make sure that at least the emergency care, it has a resource. For EMAT, just to bring people together, you can visit our booth outside there. There is a lot. Protocol, guidelines, training material, and everything is what EMAT is doing. And a big job which we are doing is to bring the government to advocate for guideline changes, protocol, policy changes. And we are sure now we are talking about emergency medicine in Tanzania. Majority of people, they know, because we are using the platform, Ministry of Health, Prime Minister Office, and all other platforms, stakeholders to disseminate emergency medicine. I think that's what I can say about emergency medicine. How Emergency Medicine Association of Tanzania. On behalf of all other emergency medicine professionals, I just to welcome you all in Tanzania. I think you have already been welcomed by organizing committee, but as a president of EMAT, I join force with our colleague Mabola and the team to welcome all guests who are coming across from Africa, across from the world, everywhere, and those who are indigenous from Tanzania and Arusha to be here and to discuss issues regarding emergency medicine. Before I conclude, I'll just have 1 minute to show just one. I will not talk about the AFEM. I will not talk about the AFCON because Said already talked about AFCON, but I'll just tell one thing. AFEM, they gave us EMAT in Tanzania to host the coming African Emergency Medicine Conference, which is called the AFSEM. And we, as Tanzania, we are expecting to host this conference here in Tanzania. The place not yet mentioned. So I just want to play a short video, 1 minute video, what we have been mandated by AFEM to do. So we will see this. This just want to show you what we have been tasked by AFEM to do in 2016. And that says, I think there's a message which I would like to give you, and before leaving here, you'll come back just 1 year from today. Can you play the video?
Medicine Association of Tanzania is honored to host the upcoming African Conference on Emergency Medicine in the year 2026. We warmly invite you to join us in our beautiful country, Tanzania. The conference will take place in November with exact dates to be confirmed. AFSEM 2026 in Tanzania will be a wonderful opportunity to build on our current momentum of working together for emergency care through strengthening our networks, sharing our experiences, and advancing our research agenda to inform delivery of high-quality emergency care across the African continent. Tanzania is another of peace, very safe and convenient destination with excellent international connectivity and various touristic attractions, making it the perfect place to combine professional development with a memorable travel experience. We, the Emergency Medicine Association of Tanzania, welcome you to AFSEM 2026 in Tanzania.
That will be my end of greeting remark. You are highly welcome, Tanzania, and feel at home. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Juma. Now you have another thing. You have 2 things now to get back to Tanzania too. So you have the AFCON, you have the AFSEM. I don't know what Joe Boni, the president of AFEM, is going to talk about. Do we have 3? What is it? Okay. August. What do we have in August? Oh, you see now? More reasons to come back. Our next speaker is Joseph Boni. Joseph Boni will come and introduce himself. He has greetings from AFEM.
Wow. I think we've hit afternoon, or we're still what, 10 minutes away? So good morning, everyone. Thank you very much. I will stand on the protocol already observed and respect all the dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen in the room. It is a great pleasure to be here. After traveling a couple of hours, I didn't know how many hours I had to travel. I did not know that Ethiopian Airline can give you bonus hours. I'm very happy to be here and to be part of this. For those of you that are not seeing this is history in the making. This is the first time that we've had the EMAS president, the AFEM president, and the local planning chair of this in one room. So a big round of applause for making this happen. But what makes this more significant is that you actually stayed, and this is really critical. We have seen so many people that have been trained across the African continent who are not here. The skill, the training, the knowledge is somewhere else in another continent, and the capacity building that we talked about in the morning has left. But you are here, you have stayed. Those of you that are not from here, you came back, or you continue to come back each year, and that deserves a bigger round of applause to all of you who have helped build emergency care in Africa. So I'll speak to you about the African Federation for Emergency Medicine. So why AFEM? So I'm going to do the turnaround thing. So we envisaged the fact that we needed a space where emergency care could speak to each other, not just talking about doctors or nurses, but when you see the space, you see an entire system. You don't only see healthcare workers, but you also actually see family. You see livelihood, and that is what we always strive to fight. And in 2009, AFEM was birthed, and the aim is to promote emergency care, support the development of emergency care across the continent with a mission and vision that clearly shows the effort that is put into this. So our work is usually encompassed in one of these areas: leadership development. Who can we trust to run our hospital? And just as Professor Petra was saying, the minute you're done training, you will be told to be a leader. It probably was not part of your training. So it's interesting that we're able to build leadership training, also research, education, advocacy, and a lot of this is encompassed in this. And I can say too little about the conference, as Juma has shown it so beautifully in whichever town it will be represented in Tanzania. I will not get into that politics. We have the Supported Delegates program, which looks at getting Africans to be able to attend conferences in Africa. It was so nice to hear about the ASAP program. I am a beneficiary of the ASAP program, and the leadership skills and training that I learned during that time were phenomenal, and I encourage every one of you who wants to apply. Aside promoting the research work, we also promote its publications. So we have the African Journal for Emergency Medicine, which continues to grow. So when you have good quality work, this is an option for you to promote it across the continent. In 2022, we hosted the African Conference in Ghana, and we're very proud to talk about our numbers of 410, and we're throwing a big challenge to Botswana. And we were amazed when we went to Botswana. Almost 700 participants from around the world, and so far our best AFEM conference. It's really that good that when I got to the airport and I saw the flags, I had a similar smile for the Botswana flag as I did for the Ghanaian flag. And we're hoping that in a year to come, we would all be having such a big smile for the Tanzanian flag. Some of the courses that we have been really great in moving forward has been the BEC, which I'll talk about a little later, but a mass casualty course, community first aid course run by WHO, and then we have been part of many of the WHO activities. This morning we heard about the GACI program, we've been part of the WHO EMT program, and now the WHO Acute Care Action Network. So AFEM seems to represent a lot of us on those platforms, and we will continue to be able to gather the resources, gather the knowledge, and then send it upwards to where we can make big changes. This also shows some of the work that we do in terms of academics. We have a question bank. So just as we said, reach out. You don't have to develop your own questions. There's a question bank you can pull for your residents to use. There's an ultrasound presentation bank, which I can assure you, when you reach out, we will task you to update it. And a couple of other programs that we have been running. This shows our reach across the world, with a lot of representation, national societies, affiliate organizations around the world. We work with our member organizations, and apologies if I have missed anybody, but this is not coincidence. I prepared this slide for a different presentation about a year ago, but surprisingly, EMAT seems to be the first on the list. And other affiliate organizations who have worked very well with us over the years. As during the snack break, I said this. AFEM does not do a lot of the work. We look at the work that is happening in countries. We try and promote it. We try and coordinate it just so that it looks better across the whole continent, to invite more people to be able to work well with us. And then international organizations that we are partnering with. I cannot speak any more about this. AFEM and EMAT are hoping to make history, and we're tasking Juma. We had 700 in Botswana. You should hit 1,000 or more. So that is a challenge that we have for you. But also to show the great relationship between EMAT and AFEM and how two organizations have grown so far. With the basic emergency care course, with Africa leading the charge of being the continent that has trained more people, and I would attest that we have more nurses trained in BEC in Africa than anywhere else in the world. But to add on, all the numbers that you ever see for basic emergency care course, Tanzania holds more than 40% of that number. So there's a slogan that says that when you stand on the shoulders of giants, you can see far. I think it's just unfair they have Kilimanjaro here, so Tanzanians just seem to be outdoing us in a lot of things around the African continent. And to see the efforts that one person has been able to put together, this organization, lead a group to organize a conference so beautiful and to bring so many people from around the world, I think they deserve a round of applause. Kudos, Peter, for the good work that you have done. AFEM is happy to support emergency care across the continent, emergency care in Tanzania, and all organizations that work strongly to promote emergency care. And we invite all of you to take charge and join us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Joseph Boni. But you should not be surprised that we always come the first, because even life was born here, not so far from here, the Olduvai Gorge. The Homo sapien was, excavated from here. So we always emerge the first, the best, na wazuri sana. I love Tanzania. So without wasting more time, I have an honor to welcome to the podium the director of the Same Quality Foundation, Dr. Mabula. Please.
Good afternoon. Habari za leo? Asante. So I'm so excited to see you all in this room. How many were here last year? All right. How many are here for the first time? All right. Thank you so much. I think that I should thank those who were here last year. They went out as ambassadors, Yeah, so guest of honor, Mr. Daudi Msasi, the chief pharmacist from the Minister of Health, representing the Minister of Health, who is out of the country for government duties. The SQF directors, board directors, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It's my pleasure to welcome you all to the fourth ARUSHA Emergency Medicine Conference. It is truly a privilege and honor to have you all here today as we come together to explore the latest advancements in emergency care and share knowledge and collaborate on solutions to improve patient outcomes in critical situations we all know. We are honored to host a diverse group of experts in this room, clinicians, researchers, and trainees who represent a broad spectrum of emergency medicine specialties. Whether you are a frontline healthcare provider, a researcher, or a student eager to learn, this conference offers an exceptional opportunity to engage in meaningful discussions, gain new insights, and develop practical skills that can be applied directly to your practice. I would like to take a moment to acknowledge the incredible talent and dedication within this room, and from seasoned emergency physicians who are here to the next generation of medical professionals. Your passion for advancing care in some of the most intense and unpredictable environments is inspiring. I encourage you all to actively participate in the discussions, ask questions, and make the most of the networking opportunities over the next 2 days. In the last 3 days, we have had 10 different workshops run by fantastic experts, and I am sure the 140 participants who participated in these workshops have gained a lot of knowledge, skills, and understanding on how to save lives. This was made possible by over 56 faculties from across the world who committed and volunteered to teach so that we can have an impact in our community. May I request all the workshop directors and instructors to stand up, and we give them a huge round of applause. All instructors have gone on safari. I'm sure we have a few remaining here. The rest are in Ngorongoro, Serengeti, Tarangire, Lake Manyara, Mount Kilimanjaro, and the rest. So for the next 2 days, we have, we'll be here as we are now, and we have a lineup of 45 speakers. Some have already spoken, of which more than 60 presentations covering research, pediatric, surgical, medical, and nursing emergencies will be presented to more than 250 participants as per registration. We are confident that everyone will leave this conference with new perspectives and tools to enhance his or her practice. I would like to take this moment to welcome and introduce you in groups by nationalities. We are behind time because of the tech gaps, but allow me to just recognize you by nation. And I will start with Ghana. Where is Bonnie? Has left the room? Yeah. So, Bonnie, as it has been said, he's the African Federation for Emergency Medicine president, and I'm honored to have him here. When he was starting from Accra yesterday, he texted me and said, I have 14 hours ahead. I think he spent like 16. So he arrived at like around 6, and he had like 45 minutes in his hotel room to change and come over here. So thank you so much, Brother Joe. We have from participants from Madagascar. Thank you so much. Malawi, Eswatini, Zimbabwe, the Zims, Kenya, Ethiopia, Japan, Cyprus, I don't know if they have arrived already from Cyprus. We have 5 registered participants from Cyprus. Australia, Canada, they're not here yet. Flight delays. The USA, South Africa, apart from Tanzania, am I forgetting another country? No, thank you. So, and the host, Tanzania. Yeah, thank you so much. I would also like to thank everyone who has made this event possible. This includes, but not limited to, the local organizing committee. Please stand up. The workshop organizers, as I have mentioned, the instructors, the National Health Insurance, you may be seated, Philips Pharmaceuticals, Balim Tanzania Limited, University of Minnesota, BSV, Global Foundation for Cardiac and Community Services, Critical Care Team from Australia, EMSA, Hennepin County Healthcare, Mayo Clinic, Muhimbili University, University of KwaZulu-Natal, Emory University, Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, CHOP, and the rest. Thank you so much for making this possible. And so, to end up my welcoming remarks, the local organizing committee has organized a tour or tours to wherever you want, be it in Ngorongoro, Kreta, be it Serengeti, Tarangire, Lake Manyara, Kilimanjaro, the Arusha National Park. So we have a booth over there. You can, after this, you can just pass by and see if you are interested. There'll be a trip tomorrow to one of those national parks. And as it is not enough, the organizing committee has also organized a gala dinner tonight. And so we have few tickets remaining. So at your own time, and we are like after here, you can just pass and take your ticket so that we can meet tonight and network even more. Thank you so much for coming and welcome to Tanzania.
So, Dr. Mabula, I would like to call you again to the podium so that you can invite our guest of honor.
Right, observing protocol. So, may I now take this opportunity to invite the guest of honor, Mr. Daudi Msas, who is representing the Minister of Health, to give his speech. Thank you.
Habari ya mchana. Habari ya mchana. I'm trying to force some of you to learn Swahili. Habari ya mchana, that is good afternoon. And you just say salama or nzuri, means it's okay or good. So habari ya mchana. Salama. Asante. Dr. Mabula, the CEO for Same Qualities Foundation. Dr. Juma Mfinanga, President of Emergency Medicine Association of Tanzania and Head of Emergency Medicine Services at the National Hospital, Muhimbili. Dr. Joseph Bon, President of AFEM. Dr. Saidi Kirindimo, Head of Department of Emergency Medicine at Muhimbili University, Health of Allied Sciences. Distinguished instructors, I'm heard you're here and I saw you while presenting, and speakers, emergency medicine professionals from all over more than 14 countries, you are here. Invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, we normally say Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania. Yeah, that means work should continue. Now I think it's good afternoon. Good afternoon. Okay, thank you. Actually, I'm a bit overwhelmed being a pharmacist in front of the team whom I do support for you to work. I was chatting with Steve. Where are you, Steve? Oh, there at the back. He said one of the jobs that he could not be led to do is to be a chief pharmacist because of hectic problems. Everyone is looking for you to make sure that you have everything that he needs for him to work. So I'm at that disposal for the emergency medicine professionals to make sure that you do your work, to ensure that you have all the commodities, all the equipment, so that you can perform that whatever is supposed to be done by the emergency medicine services. So I'm here very overwhelmed to speak in front of you, but today I'll be taking charge on behalf of Madam Minister, who allowed me to table her apology because she is not in the country. She is in Malawi, where the meeting for ministers for health under EXA umbrella, and we had a chance to have, they were electing a new CEO for EXA HC, and I was listening to the moderator where he said Tanzania comes the first, and then we came the first on that, so we have the Tanzania who is now the chair of the EXA. And the headquarters for that is in Arusha. That's another good thing. So she asked me to table her apology for that. She would wish to be with you today in this session for the officiating this meeting, but she failed because of that a quite important meeting that was happening. Also, allow me to welcome you to Tanzania. For those who are coming outside of this Tanzania, karibuni sana. I won't repeat because there are so many good things that have been presented by my colleagues. Saidi Kilindimo did it very well, and also Dr. Juma did it very well. So you are warmly welcome to Tanzania. We call a land of Kilimanjaro and the beautiful land of Zanzibar. And I'm sure with the offer that has been provided by the CEO from Same Qualities Foundation, you'll have time to visit some of those beautiful and nice places in Tanzania. And the one that is very close nearby from this point is the Ngorongoro crater, one of the wonders of the world. So I encourage you to go and visit. It's very, you'll enjoy. It's a very beautiful place where you can enjoy. And this is a good season actually, because you see the greenish within the field. And you can pinpoint all the animals that are there. There are quite a number of animals inside. After that, allow me to bring to you the speech that was supposed to be led by the Madam Honorable Minister, Jenista Mhagama, who is the Minister for Health in Tanzania. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank God for our lives and bringing us here together. I feel honored to be here today to officially open this important emergency medicine conference with a theme, Synergy in Emergency Medicine, Integrating Training, Innovation, and Policy Development for Better Patient Care. The ministry welcomed the theme as it has come on the right time when the government has invested a lot on the infrastructure and the equipment, with now a call for capacitating the human capital, innovation, and the policy guidelines. Ladies and gentlemen, I know the organizer of this event, who is the Same Qualities Foundation, SQF, which has been in operation for 11 years now, since it was founded and officially registered in 2014. With the main objective of supporting and helping children born with congenital abnormalities and spreading emergency care in Tanzania. Ladies and gentlemen, the government, through the Ministry of Health, is pleased for the decision taken by SQF to bring these services closer to the community, because most of them could not, and still many of them cannot afford the cost of travel to the center where such specialized services are available. At the Ministry of Health, we are happy that during this period of over 2,000 free cleft surgeries have been done across the country through establishment of medical camps and different hospitals which are your partners. On behalf of the government of Tanzania, we appreciate the generous partnership you have had with over 14 hospitals across Tanzania. Congratulations, SQF, for that. The government, through the Ministry of Health, promised that we will continue to support SQF for all whatever it does in helping those who are in need. Ladies and gentlemen, it is also great to hear that SQF is supporting the government initiative to strengthen rehabilitation and emergency care services in the country. I congratulate you for establishing malnutrition rehabilitation for children with cleft in Dodoma and Zanzibar, both serving as centers accessible to many Tanzanians. Rehabilitation services are part of the ministry's priorities this year. So with regard to emergency care, the government of Tanzania, through the leadership of Her Excellency Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, the President of the United Republic of Tanzania, has invested a lot in health care, including establishing of emergency medicine departments in all over the country. For the past 2 years, we have established and equipped new 82 new emergency medicine in district and in all 29 regions, referral hospitals, and all 26 within the 26 region of Tanzania. We have actually created new and equipped new 7 EMDs in all zonal hospitals, 2 AMD in specialized hospitals, and we have also renovated and established existing EMD in all other hospitals, purchased more than 700 ambulances which are quite distributed in all areas within this country. And I think that's what actually it was presented by Dr. Saidi Kilindimo on the same, while bringing up the picture of Tanzania on emergency services. Dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, this conference is expected to empower healthcare workers with knowledge and skills which will add value to the emergency care services across Tanzania and beyond. I am calling for all medical professionals to continue working hard and uphold their medical values to improve outcomes of patients with emergency conditions. I also call upon all healthcare workers to work together to strengthen emergency referral using a well-equipped ambulances and well-trained healthcare workers. Ladies and gentlemen, thinking of sustainability of emergency services across our countries, we need to see them integrated with other services. We need to ensure they are streamlined, and that call for guidance, having a guidelines to be developed on the same. Adherence to these guidelines will help align our services and provide them with almost the same quality across the facilities that we are providing services. Ladies and gentlemen, with these few remarks, may I officially declare that this conference is officially opened, and I wish you all success and enjoy the beauty of Arusha and Tanzania, the land of Kilimanjaro and beautiful land of Zanzibar. Take time to visit Ngorongoro, one of the wonders of the world. Once again, thank you SQF for organizing this conference, and thank you all for coming to attend this conference. I wish you all the best. By her, Madam Minister Jenista Mwagama, Minister of Health in United Republic of Tanzania. Asanteni sana, and that the quote from her. As a member of profession, as a pharmacist, medical team among you guys, to be sincere, I'm very overwhelmed with this meeting. I know Mabula, this is the second time we are meeting on the same issues. So I will congratulate you for this wonderful meeting. Hongereni sana. And just to assure you, President of AFEM, we will be more than 1,000 on the coming annual conference. I know Dr. Juma, I know Mabula will join us, and the ministry will be there, so expect more than that 1,000. So we will beat the Botswana what they have done. Asanteni na hongereni sana. I wish you all the best on this a very wonderful meeting. Asante sana.
To give a vote of thanks, I would like to welcome Dr. Said Kilindimo. Please, Said Kilindimo.
Guests of honor and high table, all protocol observed. Dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, join me to say thank you to the guest of honor for his time, his ambitions and dedication to emergency medicine, and joining us today in this conference. Maybe one word you didn't know about our guest of honor today. He's a chief pharmacist, but I think a couple of times I've met them in the meeting at the ministerial level. We're discussing about how we push on emergency medicine agenda. So he has been a stakeholder for a long time regarding emergency medicine practice and development in the country. And I was just reminding myself, going through my phones, he always texting me, and I think 2 weeks back, there were issues from the ministerial level. They tasked the university regarding the training in emergency medicine. And from nowhere, he texted me, hey, did you make follow-up? How did you reach it? So I know our guest of honor, it's a good person in emergency medicine. Na karibu sana. With these remarks, we thank you for all, and please send back our greetings to Honorable Minister of Health that we accept all his, first of all, for agreeing to join us. He couldn't make it because of the other responsibility. We receive his speech, we'll work on it on oral instruction, and please go remind her the AFSEM is coming. We'll be with her, and we'll reach again for more help and support from the ministry. We thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Said. The next session will be the photo session outside. Will be directed where we'll take the photos from. We have a beautiful place outside there. So please. Oh, before we go, we have tokens. Thank you. So as the high table proceeds out, we can also join them and take photos out. Yes, then we proceed for lunch. And after lunch, we'll have breakout sessions. We'll have rooms arranged for us. You can go through your timetable and see and choose whichever track that you're interested in. That will be after lunch. A good afternoon to you all. Yes, let's meet for the photos first, then we'll proceed for lunch.